Alright, hello everyone, it's so good to see you. You know, I was thinking the other day about relationships and math. Two things that, let's be honest, can be incredibly complicated. You think you've solved for X, and then suddenly Y shows up with a whole new variable you didn't even know was in the equation. It's confusing. One minute you're adding two people together, thinking it equals happiness, and the next, you're trying to divide assets and figure out who gets to keep the good coffee maker. It's a lot. And just like in math class, where there are certain rules you have to follow, love has its own set of rules. Or maybe they're more like red flags. You know, those big, bright, waving signs that scream, "Hey, this problem is about to get a lot harder." So today, we're going to talk about that. We're going to break down some of those really tricky love equations, the ones that feel impossible to solve. Think of me as your friendly, dancing math tutor for the heart. We're calling this Math Problems of Love Red Flags Edition. Because sometimes, the answer isn't to keep trying to solve the problem. Sometimes, the answer is to just flip the page, start a new chapter, and maybe, just maybe, find a problem that's a little easier to figure out. Or at least one that comes with a better-looking calculator. I don't know. Let's get into it. Grab your notebooks, and let's do some math. Don't worry, there won't be a test. I promise. Okay, first problem, the rebound. Oh, this is a classic. It's like trying to solve for X when X is still thinking about their ex. You know the setup, you're into someone, they're into you, but, and it's a big but, like a Sir Mix-a-Lot kind of but, they just got out of a relationship. They're technically available, but emotionally, they're still living in a different zip code. It's like you're trying to have a conversation with someone who's still on a call with somebody else. You can see their mouth moving, but you know they're not really listening to you. You're trying to build something new, but you're building it on a foundation that's still shaky from the last earthquake. You're basically the construction crew that shows up while the demolition team is still swinging the wrecking ball. You're putting up drywall, and they're over there like, "Remember that time we went to that little cafe?" It's a mess. You're trying to move forward, and they're constantly looking in the rearview mirror. It's a tough spot to be in, and it feels like you're auditioning for a role that's already been cast. So, you're there, you're trying to be supportive, you're trying to be the person who helps them heal. But you have to ask yourself, are you their new partner, or are you their free therapist? Because those are two very different jobs, with very different pay grades, let me tell you. You find yourself competing with a ghost, a memory. And that's a competition you just can't win. You can't be funnier or prettier or smarter than a perfectly curated memory of a relationship that's already over. It's an impossible standard. So what do? It's a tough calculation. You could try to stick it out, hoping they'll eventually see you for you. But you're basically putting your own happiness on hold, waiting for someone else's emotional baggage to clear customs. That's a long wait. You could be waiting at that emotional airport for a long, long time. The other option, you can acknowledge the math just doesn't add up right now. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole that's still shaped like their ex. Sometimes the best solution is to just put the pencil down. You have to tell yourself, you know what? This problem is too complicated right now. Maybe that means waiting until they've actually broken up with their past before you start something new. Or maybe, just maybe, it means finding someone who's actually ready to start a new equation with you. Someone who isn't trying to subtract their ex while adding you in. It's just cleaner math, you know? Alright, next up. Let's talk about the breakup where they're just unsure. This one is brutal. It's the "I love you, but I'm not in love with you," or the "you're perfect, but something's missing." It's like they're giving you a fantastic performance review right before they fire you. It makes no sense. You're left standing there holding this list of all your great qualities, wondering why it wasn't enough. It's the ultimate emotional mind game. It's not a clean break. It's a slow, confusing fizzle. They break up with you because they don't know what they want, and they leave you in this state of limbo. This waiting room of the heart. You start questioning everything. What did I do wrong? Was it that thing I said 3 weeks ago? Do I not use enough emojis? You start replaying every single moment, trying to find the one tiny mistake that caused this whole thing to unravel. It's exhausting, and it's a trap. Because the truth is, it probably had nothing to do with you at all. This is a problem they have with themselves, but they've made it your problem to solve. And you can't. You can't make someone be sure about you. You can't convince them of your worth if they can't see it for themselves. Trying to do that is like trying to teach a cat how to do your taxes. It's just not going to happen, and you're both going to end up frustrated. You deserve someone who looks at you and thinks, yes, absolutely, 100%. Not someone who looks at you like they're trying to decide between two different brands of cereal. So when this happens, when they leave you in that cloud of uncertainty, you have to be the one to find the clarity. You have to be the one to say, okay, if you're not sure about me, then I'm sure this isn't right for me. It's hard. It's so hard to walk away from someone you care about, but your self-worth cannot be dependent on someone else's indecision. You are not an option on a menu. You are the entire amazing 5-star restaurant. Remember that. And here's the most important part of the equation. You can and you will live without them. And you will find someone who is so sure about you, it'll make you wonder why you ever wasted a second on someone who wasn't. You'll find someone who doesn't need to think about it, who just knows. And that kind of certainty, that kind of love, is so much better. It's the answer you've been looking for all along, so let them be unsure. You go be fabulous. Okay, deep breaths for this next one. This one's a doozy. It's not just math anymore, this is advanced calculus with a side of soap opera. You break up, it's sad, you're trying to heal, and then you get the news. The big news. The I'm pregnant and it's not yours news. Your ex is pregnant by a third party. Wow, just wow. That is a plot twist nobody sees coming. It's like you were watching a romantic comedy, and it suddenly turned into a primetime drama series without any warning. Your first instinct might be complete and utter shock, followed by a whole mess of other emotions. Confusion, hurt, maybe even a weird misplaced sense of responsibility. And in that chaotic moment you might think, maybe we can still work this out. Maybe I can step up. Maybe this is a sign. Let me just stop you right there. No, it is not a sign. If it's a sign, it's a giant, flashing, neon red exit sign. This is not your problem to solve. I know it comes from a good place. You still have feelings, you still care about them, and you want to fix it. You might even think about begging them to take you back, to try to make it work as a family. You imagine this noble, heroic scenario where you raise the child as your own. It sounds like the plot of a movie, right? But real life is not a movie. And in real life, that is an incredibly complicated, emotionally taxing situation that you are not obligated to enter into. Accepting this situation means accepting that the relationship you had is over. Truly, completely, fundamentally over. The chapter is closed, the book has been slammed shut, and a whole new, entirely different book has just started. And you are not the main character. And that is okay. It's okay to feel sad about it. It's okay to grieve the relationship you lost. But it is not okay to try and force yourself into a narrative that no longer includes you in the same way. Don't beg. Don't try to be the hero in a story that isn't yours to write. Your path lies elsewhere. The kindest thing you can do for yourself, for your ex, and for that future child, is to accept the reality of the situation. Wish them well, genuinely, from a distance. And then, you must turn and walk your own path. Let them figure out their new equation. Your job is to go find a new problem to solve, one that actually involves you. Alright, let's switch things up. This one is about when the tables are turned. So, you and your ex have broken up. You're moving on. You're exploring your options. Maybe you're exploring a lot of options. You're living your life, you're meeting new people, you're having fun. You've got a whole roster, a team, a social calendar that looks like a flight board at a busy airport. You're not in a committed relationship, so you're just seeing what's out there. And then, your ex finds out. And they are not happy about it. They are shocked. They are appalled. They might even call you up to tell you how disappointed they are in you, and you're just sitting there, holding your phone, thinking, wait a minute, we're not together. Why do you care? It's a strange situation, isn't it? They didn't want to be with you, but they also don't want anyone else, or in this case, everyone else, to be with you either. It's the I don't want to eat this cake, but I also don't want you to share it with the whole party syndrome. Here's the thing you have to realize. Their reaction is not about you. It's about them. It's about their ego. It's about their need to feel like they were the most important person in your life, even after they chose to leave it. You're moving on, especially in a way that seems so prolific, challenges that narrative. It proves that your world didn't stop turning when they left. In fact, it might have started spinning even faster, with a whole lot more people on the dance floor. So what do? Do you apologize? Do you try to explain yourself? Do you shrink yourself down to make them feel more comfortable? Absolutely not. You don't owe them an explanation for how you live your life after they're gone. Their discomfort is their issue to deal with, not yours. You are not responsible for managing the feelings of your ex. That job expired the moment the relationship ended. Let them have their feelings. Let them be shocked. It has nothing to do with you. In fact, this can be a really valuable moment of self-discovery. If you're finding that you enjoy connecting with multiple people, that you thrive on that kind of freedom and variety, maybe the traditional one-on-one model isn't your perfect fit right now. This is your cue to move on to a different kind of math entirely. Maybe it's time to explore open relationships, polyamory, or just enjoying being single and free. Accept that this is their issue, and you just keep moving forward, maybe with a few new partners in tow. So, this leads us to our next point. What if the person you're with, the one you thought was the one, just doesn't love you? You've tried everything. You've been patient, you've been kind, you've been everything they said they wanted, but the feeling just isn't there on their end. It's like you're shouting into a canyon and all you get back is an echo of your own voice. It's heartbreaking and it's lonely. You can't force love. It's an impossible task. Love isn't something you can earn with good behavior. When you're faced with that unrequited love, it feels like a dead end. It feels like a failure. You start to think, if this person doesn't love me, maybe no one will. That is a dangerous and untrue thought. It's a trick your sad brain plays on you. Just because one person doesn't see the incredible, amazing, wonderful person you are, doesn't mean you're not all of those things. It just means they're not the right audience for your particular brand of awesome. So, what's the alternative? Well, if the one-on-one setup brought you heartache and rejection, maybe it's time to change the game completely. I'm talking about finding happiness in different structures. And you know what? A lot of people are finding this online in the world of open relationships. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Ellen, isn't that just messy and complicated? And yeah, it can be. But so can monogamy. We've already established that. The key to these kinds of relationships, the thing that makes them work, is honesty. It's everybody knowing the rules. It's about communication. Imagine a setup where everyone is loyal. Not necessarily to exclusivity, but to honesty and respect. Where you don't have to worry about someone cheating, because the rules allow for connections with other people. It removes the betrayal and the sneaking around from the equation. It's a different kind of loyalty, a loyalty to the agreement you've all made. For some people, this is a path to immense happiness. It's a way to feel loved and desired by more than one person, to build a network of support and affection. It's a way to take the pressure off of one single person to be your everything. If you're feeling unloved in a traditional relationship, don't just assume you're unlovable. Maybe you're just playing the wrong game. Maybe, just maybe, happiness for you is found in an open relationship where everyone is playing with the same honest rulebook. Let's talk about betrayal. Oh, this is a tough one. When your exes, and notice I said exes plural because sometimes there's a pattern, make you look foolish. They cheat, they lie, they make promises they never intended to keep. They leave you feeling like a punchline in a joke you didn't even know you were part of. It's humiliating. It chips away at your trust, not just in other people, but in your own judgment. You start thinking, how did I not see this? Was I that naive? That feeling of being made a fool of is one of the worst parts of a breakup. It's not just the sadness of the loss, it's the sting of deception. You feel like you were the last one to know. You replay conversations, looking for the clues you missed. You were playing checkers, and they were playing a whole other game. A game where the rules were all in their favor. And you're left there, looking at the board, wondering how you lost so badly when you thought you were playing fairly. So, what do you do with that feeling? You could let it eat you up, you could become bitter and cynical, deciding that everyone is untrustworthy and that love is a sham. That's one way to go. But that's letting them win. That's letting their bad behavior define your future. I say there's another option, a more proactive option. It's time to flip the board. It's time to change the geometry of the whole situation. Instead of shrinking, you expand. Instead of closing yourself off, you open up. You turn the tables by taking control of your own love life. If one person made you feel small and foolish, what if you surrounded yourself with multiple people who make you feel desired and respected? You increase your partners, not out of spite, not really, but as a way of proving to yourself that the world is full of possibilities and that one or two bad apples don't have to spoil the whole barrel. It's about reclaiming your power. You take all that energy you were putting into that one person who betrayed you, and you redistribute it. You invest in new connections. You learn, you grow, you have fun, and in the process, you leave those wrong ones, the ones who made you feel foolish, so far behind they become a tiny dot in your rearview mirror. You're not just moving on, you're leveling up. It's the ultimate revenge, living an amazing, abundant life they can no longer be a part of. First love, it's so pure, so intense. It's the stuff of songs and movies. Everything is new and exciting. You think it's going to last forever. You've picked out the names of your kids, the color of your future house, everything. Your whole world revolves around this one person, and then they reject you, they break your heart, and it feels like the world is literally ending. I think we've all been there. It's a pain that is so specific and so deep, you feel like you'll never, ever recover. The rejection from a first love is a foundational wound. It sets a precedent. It's your first data point in the grand experiment of romance, and it came back negative. It can make you feel like there's something fundamentally wrong with you. If the very first person you gave your heart to didn't want it, why would anyone else? It's a devastating blow to your young, fragile ego. You're left with this huge, gaping hole and no idea how to fill it. You might spend months or even years trying to get them back, trying to prove you're worthy. You change your hair, you get new hobbies you think they'll like, you accidentally show up at places you know they'll be. You're trying to solve an equation that has already been marked incorrect by the teacher. You're trying to rewrite a history that has already been written. And it's a futile, heartbreaking effort that only keeps you stuck in the past, unable to move forward. But what if you looked at it differently? What if that rejection wasn't an ending, but a beginning? What if it was the universe's way of saying, nope, not this one. There's something else out there for you. What if, instead of focusing all your energy on that one rejection, you took it as a sign to broaden your horizons, dramatically? Instead of trying to win back that one person, you open yourself up to 10 new people, or 20. This isn't about replacing them. It's about recalibrating your entire understanding of love and connection. You embrace the idea that love doesn't have to be this singular, all-or-nothing thing. You increase your partners. You explore open relationships. You learn that your capacity to love and be loved isn't finite. That first rejection doesn't have to define you as unlovable. It can be the catalyst that launches you into a world of abundant love, a world where your worth isn't tied to the approval of just one person. It's a radical reframing, and it can be incredibly liberating. This is a painful one. The person you want, your ex, the one you still have feelings for, you can't have them. And the reason is simple. They have someone new. They've moved on. They're in a new relationship, posting happy pictures, going on trips, building a new life, and you are on the outside looking in. It feels like you're staring through a shop window at something you desperately want, but absolutely cannot have. Every happy photo they post feels like a personal little jab to your heart. It's so easy to get stuck here, to obsess, to compare yourself to the new partner. What do they have that I don't? Are they funnier, smarter? Do they also know how to make that weird casserole they like? You drive yourself crazy with these questions. You become a detective of their social media, looking for cracks, for signs that it's not as perfect as it looks. You're hoping, praying that they'll break up, and then your chance will come again. You're putting your whole life on pause, waiting for something that may never happen. This is a form of self-torture. You are chaining yourself to a hope that is keeping you from living your own life. You have to understand that their new relationship is not about you. It's not a commentary on your worth. It's their life, their choice, their path. And as long as you are focused on their path, you cannot walk your own. You are stuck at a crossroads watching someone else drive off into the sunset while you're just standing there. So, the math here is stark but simple. You cannot have them. That variable is no longer available for your equation. So what do? You have to let them go. Truly let them go. That means muting them, blocking them if you have to. Not out of anger, but for your own sanity. You have to remove the temptation to watch their life and start focusing on your own. It's time to change the problem you're trying to solve. And what if the solution is abundance? What if, instead of pining for the one you can't have, you celebrated the many you can have? While they are locked into a one-on-one situation, you are free. You have the freedom to have multiple partners, to explore different connections, to have a rich and varied romantic life. Let them have their one new person. You can go out and enjoy the company of 5 or 10 or however many you want. Embrace the freedom that their new relationship has inadvertently given you. Okay, now for a problem that sounds like a good problem to have, but it can be genuinely confusing. The opposite of rejection, you have many suitors. A lot of people want to date you. Your DMs are full, people are asking you out, you have options. It's like you're the star of your own season of The Bachelorette, but without the cameras and the free trips to Fiji. It's flattering, it's exciting, but it can also be overwhelming. Who do you choose? How do you know who is right? When you have so many options, it can lead to a weird kind of paralysis. It's called the paradox of choice. You're so afraid of making the wrong decision that you don't make any decision at all. You keep everyone at a distance, you juggle, you date casually, but you don't let anyone get too close. You're worried that the moment you commit to one person, someone even better will come along. It's romantic FOMO, fear of missing out, and it can keep you from ever finding a real, meaningful connection. You might feel pressure to pick one. Your friends are asking, so, who are you going to get serious with? You feel like you're supposed to narrow it down, to find the one out of the crowd. But what if that's the wrong approach? What if the pressure to choose is the actual problem, not the number of people who are interested in you? You're trying to solve for one, when the equation is currently full of multiple wonderful variables. So here's a different way to think about it. Stop trying to be the one who decides. Take the pressure off yourself. Instead of you choosing them, let them choose you. And I don't mean in a passive way. I mean, you continue to be your amazing self, you date the people you enjoy spending time with, and you let them show you who is willing to commit. Let them be the ones to decide that they want to be with you, seriously and exclusively. Put the ball in their court. Let them show you, through their actions, that they are the right one. The one who is patient, the one who is consistent, the one who isn't scared off by the fact that you have other people interested in you. The right person for you will see your value and decide that they want to be a committed part of your life. And if none of them step up, or if multiple people step up, well, that's a whole new, wonderful math problem to solve, isn't it? We've touched on this, but let's make it its own chapter because it's a big one. You're dating someone, things are going well, you really like them. You're ready to take the next step. You're ready for that one-to-one, exclusive, let's be a real couple kind of relationship. And you bring it up, you have the talk, and they look at you and say, I can't do that. They don't want a one-to-one relationship, they want to keep things casual or open, or they're just not ready to commit. It's a rejection, but a specific kind of rejection. It's not that they don't like you. They might even say they love spending time with you. They just don't want the structure that you want. They are rejecting the model of the relationship, not necessarily you as a person, but it feels the same, doesn't it? It feels like you're not enough. Not enough for them to want to be only with you. It's a painful, frustrating position to be in. You want to be on the same page, but you're not even in the same book. You might be tempted to try and convince them. You might think, if I just stick around long enough, they'll change their mind. they'll see how great it could be. So you agree to their terms, hoping they'll eventually agree to yours. But what you're really doing is abandoning your own needs for the sake of keeping them around. You're settling for a relationship structure that doesn't make you happy, in the hopes that one day it will magically transform into the one you want. That's a huge gamble. And it's a gamble you're likely to lose. When someone tells you who they are and what they want, believe them. If they tell you they don't want a one-to-one relationship, they mean it. Trying to force them into that box will only lead to resentment and heartache for both of you. You can't build a happy relationship on a foundation of one person compromising their fundamental needs. It just doesn't work. The math is flawed from the start. So what's the answer? The answer is to leave. If your needs are not being met, you have to be brave enough to walk away. It's that simple and that difficult. But here's the beautiful part. Leaving that situation doesn't mean you have to go looking for another one-to-one relationship right away. Maybe this is your sign to embrace a life of multiple partners yourself. Maybe their rejection of monogamy is your invitation to explore non-monogamy. You can leave them and go find a whole community of people who enjoy the freedom of having many partners, but do it with honesty and communication. You can have the best of both worlds. So, we've been through a lot of math problems today, haven't we? Rebounds, rejections, pregnancies, too many suitors, not enough commitment. It's complicated stuff. And what I've noticed is that so often we try to solve these impossible equations. We twist ourselves into pretzels trying to make the numbers work, trying to force a solution that just isn't there. We think if we're just smart enough or patient enough or loving enough, we can make 2 + 2 = 5, but it never will. And through all of these scenarios, from being rejected to having too many options, there seems to be this recurring theme, this interesting solution we kept coming back to. Abundance. The idea of increasing your partners, of embracing open relationships, of not putting all your emotional eggs in one basket. Now, I know that's not for everybody, and that's okay. But the principle behind it is what's important. It's the principle of knowing your own worth and not letting it be defined by one single person's opinion or actions. The real answer to all of these math problems of love is you. It's always you. It's about choosing yourself. It's about being brave enough to walk away from equations that don't add up. It's about being open to the idea that happiness can look different than you thought it would. Whether you find happiness with one person or with 10, the goal is to find a situation where you feel respected, cherished, and happy. Don't settle for anything less. You are the only variable that's in every single one of your life's equations, so make sure you're solving for your own happiness first. Thank you so much for watching. Be kind to one another.